Welcome to Selling the Hard Way. Simplify, align, and accelerate how you describe your value. I'm your host, Coco Selman, 5-time founder, impact investor, and creator of the Force for Good system. Does your team describe what you offer in different ways than you do and each other? Do customers hesitate even though you know your offer is valuable? Struggling to scale because your offer isn't clearly defined, ready to make your business easier to sell, scale, and grow? Welcome to today's masterclass. What you offer defines your products and services in clear, specific language as your customers would. So sometimes we get hung up and we talk about what we offer in confusing jargon and with too many embellishments. And what our customer needs is a way to lock in and understand, oh, you're a software company. No jargon, no fluff, just honest value. This isn't about product names or fancy titles. It's not marketing language. It's about clear, simple truths your customer can understand about what you offer. Let me give you examples. These are brands you know, so you can quickly say, oh, yeah, that's what they are. Then think about your company, customers, services, and offerings, and how you can create the same kind of simple language. BMW offers high performance luxury automobiles. Calm offers guided meditation and sleep support via a mobile app. HelloFresh delivers meal kits with pre-portioned ingredients and recipes. Peloton offers at-home fitness classes through a connected exercise bike. See how simple and accurate that is? Stitch Fix offers personalized styling and clothing delivery services. Plug into the simplicity and accuracy of what you offer. Simple language. Every masterclass, we focus on building your growth flywheel. And every leg of the flywheel includes a core growth element, part of the Force for Good system. Each leg we talk about in these masterclasses accompanies at least one Force for Good tool. Today, we're talking about what you offer. Today's tool is called the What You Offer Developer. It's a proprietary tool that will lead you step by step to defining what you offer in clear language. You're going to define what you offer, and you're going to identify one habit that you're going to repeat weekly or monthly and one high potency action. If you haven't already, download the What You Offer Developer. Why do we avoid doing this? It feels too obvious. We think, oh, it's clear what we sell, so we assume we know. There's also a fear of narrowing down to specifics. Founders often avoid specifics, worried they'll exclude potential customers or miss opportunities. Let that fear go. Know that what we offer is enough. Often we're just too close to the business. We can't understand disconnect between what we're saying and what our customers hearing. We can't see that the way we're talking about our services or products isn't the way our customers would. We're also avoiding hard trade-offs. Defining what you offer means also clarifying what you don't offer. That can feel risky or vulnerable. To be chosen by a customer, you must be understood. And to be understood, you must be clear. That's what we're going to home in on today in this masterclass. What are the benefits of having a clear what you offer statement? First, it unlocks momentum. When everybody describes your offer the same way, whether you're in customer service, you're in marketing, or you're selling, wherever on Facebook or on Twitter or on whatever platform, when you're in front of customers, when you're saying it the same way, it creates momentum. Second thing is a customer says yes faster because your offer is clear. It helps customers understand if you're the right solution. It also sharpens your competitive edge. It'll be clear what you do versus the masses. You'll better communicate what sets you apart in the crowded market. It also strengthens team focus. It helps prioritize features, marketing campaigns, and customer success. It lays the groundwork for scale. Scalable companies have a clearly defined and repeatable offer, something new team members and customers can immediately grasp. So this is the benefit of a clear offer statement. It doesn't have to be a laundry list of all the possible things. It's clear, concise, in ways that people can understand. Great teams don't guess. They grow through shared language and purpose. Where does this fit in the bigger Force for Good system? If you look at the 4-page growth plan, 4 pages is everything you need to run your business, to unlock the puzzle of growth. What you offer is on the first page, part of the Know Who You Serve section. It sits under the authentic customer offering section. Every piece of the growth flywheel, including what you offer, helps you move through the stages of company growth. Whether you're just getting started and haven't sold much, you've sold less than 100 grand worth of services, knowing exactly what you sell and what that offer is going to help you. When you're in survival mode, this is the place most companies sit and never get beyond. Knowing exactly what you do will help you move out of survival and into scale. What you'll see with impact companies is a clear articulation of what they sell. They have a clear definition they can talk about over and over. What you offer is related to other statements that we have on the 4-page growth plan. And I want to talk about those for a second because they're similar, but different. So what you offer is a description, clear, short, few words as possible. It describes what you deliver in customer language. Answers the question, what do we do for our customers? The who what statement is another statement that you'll find on your 4-page growth plan. It describes who you serve and what they need. Then the market position. This is describing where we fit in the market compared to all the other offerings. So it describes why should customers choose us. This is your competitive edge, your company promise, and the basis for differentiation. So what you offer doesn't say anything about the customer in particular, and it doesn't really say anything about what makes you unique. But it does is it describes your offerings in simple languages that your customer can understand. So the what you offer statement, it describes what you sell. The who what statement clarifies your audience and their needs. And the market position statement defines your uniqueness and competitive edge. Now is the big moment. We're going to walk through the what you offer developer. We're going to brainstorm the problems and desires of your customer. Then we're going to map how operations meets all those needs. Then we're going to choose 3 ways to elevate what you offer and then clearly define your offer statement. This tool is helping you do 2 things. We're going to see your business through the lens of service. You're going to recognize how every function of your business, whether it's a person in customer service or marketing or sales or finance, or technology, operations, manufacturing, every person is contributing to the value of what you're delivering. And together it's part of your offer. But at the end of the day, you have one simple offer you want to be able to articulate in like 8 words, 10 words max. Most companies define their offering as just their products or services, which is ultimately where we want to get to. But really, I want you to think about your offer as so much more than that. So we want to align all of the whole company to being part of the offer. What you offer is the total experience your company delivers from first impression to lasting impact. That's what this tool, the What You Offer developer, is meant to do. First, we're going to brainstorm customer problems and desires. What are the needs of your customer? What do they come to you with? They're coming to you with problems, pains, and desires. What is the reason they're coming to you? Why are they hiring your company? Why are they buying your product or service? What is the urge or the need, pain, or problem? List those problems, pains, and desires. Don't hold back. It could be a really important big desire. What do they really wish for? What is it they are craving? What is their hope that can finally be achieved? List at least 20 problems. Then place a star next to the top 10 needs. Circle the top 3 most urgent needs. Think about the 3 most urgent and important needs of your customer. Think about it as like, what is the $1 million problem? If it's a big company, what would they pay $1 million for? If it's an individual, what would they pay $10,000 for or $100,000? Look for the painkiller rather than the vitamin. Star next to top 10 needs and circle your 3 most urgent needs. We're going to take a deeper look at your operations. So you've just listed out a whole bunch of problems, a whole bunch of needs. Okay. And now we're going to step back and go through the different functions of your business, human resources, marketing, selling, et cetera. And we're going to think about some of the activities that take place in each of those functions. And then we're going to say, well, which customer needs are addressed, especially if you're in a non-customer facing part of the business. You might not be thinking about customer needs, but here's your chance to do that. And then we're also going to think about ways to improve. This is all part of what you offer. So we're going to do this one function at a time. Let's go to the first area, human resources, talent attraction, engagement, and retention process. Activities in this section are you hire onboard team members, give clear roles, you offer benefits, run growth plans and reviews, performance management system, DEI or inclusion programs, foster a safe, supportive culture. What's the benefit the customer needs addressed? The customer is now being carried by a team that's capable, kind, and committed. What are the customer needs addressed by human resources, possibly the customer's feeling the difference of working with a team that loves what they do versus one that doesn't? If human resources team is doing its job properly, perhaps your customer is feeling the benefit of engaging with a company that has a great culture and that values service and human dignity. So that feels good to your customer. And knowing behind every promise is a person who takes pride in delivering. Then you might say, what are things you can do within your HR system to improve the way your customer receives your team? What could you do to improve? Maybe you improve your method of hiring, hire from heart and values, not just the resume. Maybe you train every employee to understand their role in this customer journey. What are ways that you can improve your HR systems so that your customer gains benefit? Now we're going to look at marketing. This is your customer engagement process. This includes branding, campaigns, social media, events, webinars, however you market yourself, website content, emails, collecting and sharing customer stories right down at your marketing activities and the benefits. Hopefully, they feel heard. Maybe they feel seen addressing the customer needs, understanding how your company is helping them. Maybe you're giving them tools, giving them ideas in your content that will help. Maybe you're connecting emotionally, right? Maybe you're starting to give them a feeling of hope. What are the ways you are helping your customers? In the Force for Good brand, we give away tools every week, right? So every week we're giving away content that will hopefully help our customers, you, to feel a sense of empowerment, an ability to keep growing their company, knowing what to do, knowing what fosters growth. Ideas to improve, ways you can do better, use real customer language, shift from promotion to connection, tell more stories of transformation, you can align your marketing with your deeper emotional customer journey. So write down some ideas of how you can improve what your marketing activities can bring to your customers' needs. Moving to the next one. Now we're going to talk about sales. This is where we enroll prospects to become customers. We invite you into our journey of becoming a paid customer. Oftentimes, it's upselling, cross-selling existing customers. This is where we qualify leads, hold discovery calls, share proposals and demos, address objections, close deals. Maybe we collaborate with other partners and operations. We track our pipeline and conversion data. All this is part of the sales process. What are you doing to help the customer? Write down all the ways as you sell to your customer, you are helping them with their problems. Remember the problems we wrote down at the beginning. How are you helping them? Maybe in the proposal, you're really giving them solutions, whether they sign up or not, will help. Maybe they're experiencing insights. You're giving them a path that's clear and tangible that will help them imagine a better future. And that's giving them hope. Maybe they are connecting with you in a way that's really honorable and builds trust and helps them feel safe and supported. Maybe it's helping them understand their need is not frivolous, that it's a real need, and that when that need is solved, that there will be a good benefit for them, helping them justify that the investment they're going to spend is worth it for them, the decision-making process that they're toiling through, and you're helping them do that. So then what are some ways that you could improve your sales process, not just so you can sell more, but so that you can meet your customers' needs? So look back on that first page, all those problems. What are some of the problems you really want to help address in your selling process? What are those core 3 problems? How can you generously help them during the sales process? How can you shift from pitching to partnering? How can you listen for emotional cues, not just logical needs? How can you align your language with their desired future so they feel understood and the solution aligns with theirs? What are the ways you can make every sales touch point a moment of clarity, care, and confidence for your customer? So just think about your ideas to improve in sales so you can create more value to your customer at this stage. Next, we want to look at your product and service part of your business. This is the specific products and services you sell. It's the part of your business that oversees the product and service itself. This is where you design and develop core offerings, source or build components, package and deliver products or services. So for some companies, this is a very big department. Others, it's really small. Think about the customer's needs being addressed. Hopefully your activities related to your customer are focused on their core problems. What are the problems being solved by your products and services? Write those down. These are the customer's needs being addressed, solutions that work. So your product should be a reflection of understanding your customer. You want them to feel like this is exactly what I need. Look for ways your product helps customers feel that way. It also will provide, when you have a well built product or service, transformation, ease, empowerment, relief. So, what are those feelings, those transformations? How would they describe that transformation? Start to see ways you can improve. We can all think of ways we can improve our product so that it better aligns with those three core needs, right? To help them feel understood, feel that transformation, involving customers early to co create relevant solutions. How could you improve? How could you add emotional or experiential value? How could you improve your customer success? Maybe through quarterly reviews, elevate the packaging, onboarding, or the aftercare or delight. Now we're going to move to the next area of how you serve, manufacturing and delivering. This is how you build or create what you sell. You source materials, produce, assemble, manage logistics. You ensure quality, safety, consistency. You track performance, optimize for efficiency. So, what does that activity look like for you? What are needs that are being addressed? So, hopefully, your customer feels a sense of confidence that what they ordered will arrive as promised. Do you have a really good system in place for delivering? Write down what that is, the components that are really good. Do they have trust in the quality, integrity, and safety of what they receive? Right. So write down all the ways that you have a high quality in your service, high quality in the product you're delivering. At my healthcare company, we were always focused on making sure we didn't have call outs. So nurses calling out from going into a shift. That was a huge need. And so we did have problems with that. So we always were in the third column of ideas to improve that. What else does the customer need? Reassurance, again, that their time, their money expectations are respected, honored, and you're over delivering. Where are you on? Do you feel like your customers feel like, yeah, this is such a great investment? I wouldn't give it up for the world. I would do it again and again. And if not, then what would be the ideas that you could improve in the last column? All right. So, what are ways to improve your overall manufacturing and delivery? How could you be quicker, streamline, delays, errors, things customers complain about in the delivery process? What could you improve? Are there customer feedback moments? How could you reduce waste, increase sustainability? How could you train teams to see their work as part of the customer experience? These are all opportunities to improve what you offer. Now we're going to look at customer support. This is where we talk about responding to customer questions, issues, and feedback, providing troubleshooting and resolution, documenting escalating concerns, tracking satisfaction, creating FAQs, help documents, and knowledge tools that solve problems or get support. How and what are those needs then that your customer is getting addressed? So go back to your list of what their problems and needs are. And again, see how is your customer service system helping them with those needs, right? Hopefully they're feeling heard and respected. How do you do that? Hopefully you're helping them resolve specific problems that they're calling in about. Hopefully you're helping them regain trust. Hopefully you're able to maybe even reach out to them proactively. What can you do to feel less transactional in customer service? Maybe there's ideas in the third column to improve how your customer service helps with their problem. Write down ideas of what customer needs are being addressed and think about ways you can improve. How can you better train your support team around empathy and empowerment? Maybe you also need to work together between customer support and some other part of the business that knows the customer. Maybe it's sales or account management. How can you close the loop with follow-ups that show accountability? How can you thank a customer, turn complaints into opportunities? And how can you use insights from support to inform products and process upgrades? So these are all parts of how we think about what you offer. All right, moving to the next section. Think about your customer onboarding process. Now, this is one of the most important moments. Your first moment of onboarding can either fuel a desire to continue working with you forever, or it can fuel a desire to never work with you again. So, what is that process? When you first make that payment, how do you send welcome materials, schedule kickoff calls, provide training, demos, walkthroughs? How do you follow up, assign customer success lead or support contact? Share next steps, timeline, expectations, success milestones. How do you stay in touch? They want to feel they made the right choice. What are the ways they feel guided, not left to figure things out? What are those things you're doing? What are the ways that you're sending, giving them immediate value that helps them feel that early win? What are the ways that you are helping them feel known, supported, set up for success? What are the ways you're helping them trust that your team will show up for them, right? That they're not, okay, they bought, now everybody's gone. How are they going to learn how to work with you? How are they going to learn who these new contacts are? How are they going to learn how to use your product or service best? How are they going to learn the next steps so that they don't walk away feeling a sense of confusion? So think about what that confusion is for your particular customer and what can you do in the steps in the days after that will lead that customer to not feel that sense of loss, frustration, confusion, and what are the ways you can improve? How can you improve the onboarding path? How can you automate the welcome workflows without losing warmth? How can you create onboarding dashboards or visual roadmaps? How can you add surprise and delight into your experience? How can you gather quick feedback, adjust and improve? Think of some ways you can improve what happens right after your customer says yes and meet more of their needs quickly. Look at that list of needs and say, what needs am I meeting already? And how can I shine the light on that the moment that they get that need met? Celebrate it for them, with them. And then what are those other challenges they may have a harder time solving that your onboarding can help them solve? Next is customer retention. So you've onboarded them and you want to keep them, whether they're a subscriber and they just keep subscribing, or they come back because they want to buy another product from you, whatever it is, or they want to sign up for another session or whatever the sale might be. So what are these activities? What does customer retention activities look like in your company? Write down what those are. How do you retain your customers? Maybe you do regular check-ins and value reviews. Maybe you do loyalty rewards or customer appreciation programs, ongoing education. How do you keep re-engaging? Community building, peer connection, proactive problem solving and support. So what are those ways that you are helping your customers stay connected to you? In the customer retention stage, you should be ticking off customer needs. Those needs should be getting resolved. You're helping them do that. What are you doing that's helping them? How are they experiencing transformation? How are they getting it celebrated? In what moments are you watching them have their pain resolved? And at what percentage are your customers getting that pain resolved? How are you measuring that? How do you know it when it's happened for them? Celebrating it with them. How are you helping them feel valued? Write down how you're helping them feel valued. How are you helping them grow? What are the ways you do that? How are you making sure they experience consistency, care, and responsiveness? And how are you helping them believe they belong? What are the ways you create a feeling that, like, yes, I love this company and I belong. I'm part of this community. And what can you do to improve? What can you do to experience more of those moments where your customer's celebrating, helping them overcome the challenges and problems? What are ways that you can personalize retention efforts based on usage and goals? How can you offer exclusive experience or content for long-term customers? How can you celebrate the key milestones of their journey and you measure the milestones of their journey? All right. Keeping on, more of what you deliver then is your customer complaints. How you respond to a complaint can change a customer from lukewarm to loyal. Complaints are your place to shine, although we don't always do well with this. Write down your activities. How do you receive them? How do you log them? Do you have a way to log them? How do you respond to them? Who responds to them? What are the ways that you assign ownership to the problem? What are the ways you investigate the issues and try to resolve the root causes? What are the ways you follow up, ensure that the customer is satisfied? What are the ways you track patterns to drive long-term improvement? So these are all the things you already do. And then what are those needs of the customer is being addressed? Of course, they want to be heard, respected, taken seriously, feel safe to bring up concerns. So what are those things you're solving? What are those moments you're transforming? What are the ways you're regaining trust, right? What are the things you're doing in the journey to help them? What are some ideas to improve? Training all team members in conflict resolution and empathy, especially whoever's dealing with your complaints, is super, super, super important. This was something I did at Illume. We had a very specific technology that everybody used when they did their onboarding about how we respond to conflict, whether it's with a team member or a customer. Having good training in place is important. What are those methods for closing the loop? Making sure you have a good system. How do you review customer complaints? Weekly? Monthly? How do you empower frontline staff to resolve issues quickly? What is your policy? Within 24 hours, within an hour? What happens when there's a complaint? How do you get it done faster? How do you achieve a feeling of connection? How could you send a handwritten apology or personal thank you gift? How do you review and elevate your standards? What are the ways you can improve your customer complaint system? Look for your ways. And again, it's just another way that you offer solutions to your customers. Then look to your quality assurance, your internal systems to maintain excellence. And really, your quality assurance is hopefully maintaining excellence, solving your customers' problems. Make sure you have clear standards for excellence connected to your customers' problems. So if you don't, add that in your ideas to improve column. Quality assurance usually has its checklist, right? Internally focused. How can we be efficient? How do we make sure our quality is good, which is often run to customers? But what are those clear standards? How do you conduct internal reviews and audits, test systems for reliability, provide feedback loops? What are those quality assurance steps you're taking? What are the customer needs being addressed? Think about this as you are going through that quality process. So you want to make sure that your QA person, whoever's doing quality assurance, feels a sense of connection to the customer. What are those quality issues that the customer cares about? What do they want? Problem solution, speed, resourcefulness, empathy. Write down all the ways customer needs are addressed through your quality assurance mechanisms. Value is important to your customer. Make sure your standards match promises. Look at those promises. What are saying you can do? Are you delivering? Is your quality assurance system ensuring that your customer is not feeling frustrated, not experiencing delays, and not having a poor experience either with the product, the service, or people in your company? What are the ways your customer is feeling proud of what they've invested? Maybe you produce reports that say our customers are getting these benefits and it's measured through your quality assurance system. That is also a win because that makes people feel good. I'm buying from a company where they're getting these results. What are your areas to improve? How can you include customers in your feedback loops, in your test, listen, and refine process of quality assurance? How can you invite team-wide ownership of quality? Not just one department. How can you use real life scenarios to stress test your delivery? How can you celebrate when standards are exceeded, not just met? How can you make quality a visible living part of your brand? Now let's talk about research and development. This is how you examine future products, services, and solutions for your customers. Tracking trends, marketing shifts, and unmet needs. So how are you doing that as a company? Maybe you have a whole R&D unit that's doing that. How do you prototype new products, services, and experiences? How do you test and iterate? How do you collaborate cross-functionally to innovate? How do you translate vision into offering? Look at all the ways you're doing R&D. Some companies have a lot of this, others very little. Think about the customer needs being addressed. Is there a way you can benefit the customer? Maybe you are listening for ways the customer is having these problems solved. How is it meeting future customer needs? You're thinking about your customer and what their problems are and what you want to do to solve their problems that you're not solving. So, what are some ways you're thinking about that? Write down the future needs you're hoping to address or the ways that you're thinking about the problems of your customer. So, maybe you're helping to grow partners, right? Looking for new solutions. So think of all the ways that you through your R&D are actually helping your customers and getting their problems solved. Again, look at their list of problems to remind you and think about involving your customers in early development, having early conversations with them. How can you prioritize inclusive, diverse voices? How can you shorten the gap between ideas and test? How can you make R&D customer facing, sharing what you're working on? How can you dedicate time for bold exploration that involves your customer? So could be you have R&D gatherings and talk to your customers. It could even be a virtual event, roundtable discussions, billing and payments, the way you bill your customers and receive payments. This is how you issue your invoices, manage recurring billing, set up payment processing, track accounts receivable, provide receipts, updates, confirmations, support financial clarity and transparency for your customer and ensure compliance and data security within the business. Your customer wants the process to be easy. They want it to be simple. They might want options. So how do you make that process simple, easy options? How do you provide them the records they need so they can give it to their accountant, their bookkeeper, to their finance department? What do you do to keep records clear? What are you doing to help them? You want them to feel financially safe. You want them to trust what they're being charged is fair and accurate. You want to have simple, seamless payment experiences. You want to avoid any awkwardness or confusion. So, what are the ways that you do that? How can you help them feel respected and valued, especially when issues arise? What are those issues that come up? They click the button and it doesn't go where it's supposed to, right? Is that happening? See if you can fix that. So, what are the areas you can improve so that your billing and payment system is customer friendly, aligned with your values, and also helping meet your customers' needs? All right, next in the offer is tech. All right, technology. You have people in the background working on your tech stack, whether it's Microsoft, online components, SaaS systems. The activities of technology are maintaining internal system software and hardware, supporting digital tools for communication, operations, and delivery, developing or integrating platforms that power the customer experience, ensuring uptime, speed, and security, enabling scale and automation across the business. This is the business of technology. These people probably don't touch the customer directly very often. So we want to make sure that they think about the customer needs that are being addressed. So what are those needs? The customer wants a seamless technology experience. They don't want to feel like they have to go to multiple technologies. They want to feel like everything's in one place. It's not confusing. It's very reliable. They want to interact with tools that are intuitive for them, that run quickly, that there's no frustrations with whatever tools they're interacting with. They want to trust their data is secure and respected. They want to experience consistency as your business grows. They want to feel a sense of consistency. They want to feel like your company is modern, capable, and built to last. They want to feel a sense that you're a smart company. You've got good tech. So, what are the things that you're doing that communicate that? And how is your technology experience giving them that feeling of confidence, seamless experience, and helping them feel like their problems are being resolved and their problems are most important to you as a company? And what are the things you can do to improve? Are there ways that you can improve your user interface, your customer experience? How can you automate workflows that contain friction? How can you monitor and resolve tech issues proactively? How can you avoid having the customer service reps say, well, my technology is down. I can't do that. I can't look for that because I can't see that data. I'm going to have to call somebody. So what are the ways that you can enable your tech to give all the customer facing people and all the customer experiences to make it better? How can you build systems that are scalable so they don't break when you add more and more customers and team members? So next is customer success. What are the ways you ensure your customer perceives they are pleased and successful? What are the ways you proactively check in with customers to ensure satisfaction? What are the ways you monitor their usage and engagement to spot risks and wins? When was the last time they came to the store? When was the last time they used their software subscription? When was the last time they referred a friend? Maybe you help customers achieve their desired outcomes through quarterly reviews. What are you doing? What customer needs are being addressed? How does the customer measure success? What are the problems and solutions that you are delivering to them and they're feeling the value of it? When do they have those moments of success? How do they celebrate it? How do you celebrate it? How do you help them feel that you're reaching out in a way that's not overbearing, that feels authentic, and you're always helping them acknowledge their journey? What are the ways you're helping them see a brighter future? You achieve this milestone with this SaaS product. Now let's talk about what you want to do next. There's always a brighter future that your product or service can help them achieve. So what's the ways that you're helping create that? What are the ways that you're letting them know they're not alone in their problem, not alone in their journey, not alone in their desire, not alone in their goal, whatever that is? How are you helping them feel valued as a long-term partner, not just a one-time transaction? How are you helping them gain clarity and confidence they made the right choice? What are the ways you can improve customer success? Again, how do you know if they're successful? How do you measure whether they're successful? So one thing you can do is you can automate thoughtful touch points to celebrate milestones, create success playbooks by customer type or goal, design a dedicated success lead for top tier accounts or all accounts, offer value add strategy sessions or check-ins. You can measure customer success beyond satisfaction, tracking real life outcomes. And so, what are the ways you're helping them do all of that? And what are ways you are improving your customer success journey? And last, is there anything else? Can't possibly be anything else, right? So, if there is, what are those other activities you are engaged in? And what is helping? What customer needs are being addressed? And what are some ideas to improve? What are 3 ways in the next 90 days, just 3, that you want to focus on to help elevate your offer, your ability to support your customers' problems, pain, and desire? Write them down. 3 ways. Boom, boom, boom. Now we're going to focus on what you offer. So you have mapped out the full value. We've thought about all the things, and hopefully you've been thinking about the customer pain and the customer problem. And you've been thinking about all the different support groups: sales, marketing, product, technology, finance. You've been thinking about how they help the customer use the product and service you offer. So now it's just simple. What do you offer? Write down what you offer. Be clear and specific. Avoid fluff. No selling. No big adjectives other than accuracy adjectives. Examples are Rent the Runway offers designer clothing and accessory rentals by subscription. Sweet Green offers fresh, made-to-order salads and grain bowls. Notion offers all-in-one productivity software for notes, tasks, and wikis. Tia offers virtual and in-person healthcare services focused on women's health. Simple. Write it down. When you're clear on what you offer, your team aligns, your message sharpens, and your company becomes a force for good. Absorb all of this. Absorb all the ways you serve. You probably serve beyond what you think about every day. Your offer is more than your product. Notice the operational clarity leads to customer clarity, right? So all of these different things you do and all the ways you can impact their problems. A well-defined offer is your growth unlock. The clearer your offer, the greater your impact. Write it on your 4-page growth plan. It might help you with other part of your plan. Let's look at high leverage habits. Identify one thing to keep your offer front and center. Something you can do daily, weekly, or monthly. So maybe it's a review customer feedback monthly. Maybe host monthly offer alignment meetings. Maybe have every new hire memorize the offer, right? Maybe invite someone new to recite what you offer at every weekly meeting. I like that one. Your offer is your invitation to transformation, trust, and a better way. Pick one new habit and one high potency action, one bold action to move your company forward using the power of what you offer. So what's one thing you could do this week to integrate what you offer? So maybe you redesign your homepage. Maybe you record a short internal training. Maybe you simplify service descriptions in proposals. Host a What We Offer team workshop. Growth accelerates when your whole team can finish the same sentence. And certainly what you offer, everybody should be able to use the same words. Today, we defined what you offer in specific terms for your whole company. We learned how to use the What You Offer developer, which hopefully you can see is a great tool. You've integrated this into the 4-page growth plan. You've identified one new habit, and you're going to commit to one high potency action, one thing that will integrate your offer more profoundly into your company. And remember, powerful growth begins with precise intention. So what is next? Be sure to read chapter 6 of A Force for Good. Go read that chapter. It integrates how what you offer fits into the system. When you have the book, you'll have the full Force for Good toolkit. All of the tools, all the PDFs are there for you. And the tools themselves have instructions. We have a free tool every week at aforceforgood.biz/weekly-tool. We launch a tool and a masterclass just like this. And thank you. The world is made better by women-led businesses. So let's all go make the world a better place.